Alright guys, let's start this warm-up. Tell whether the numbered angles are adjacent or non-adjacent. So adjacent, if we remember, is when two angles share a vertex, which would look like this. This is the vertex, and a common side. So these share a vertex, but do they share a common side? I don't think so. So these are non-adjacent. Okay. Non-adjacent. Okay, now these ones, they share a vertex and a side. So these are adjacent. Now, number one, is that a linear pair or a vertical angle? Because they're across from each other, they're vertical angles. Now, number two, we see that they make a straight line. So this is, and they're right next to each other, so this is a linear pair. It forms a line. Now, let's look at 3 and 4. Find the measure of a supplement. A supplement adds up to 180 degrees. Okay? So what we're doing is we're going to take 180 and we're going to subtract 67. And that will give us the supplement, which is 113 degrees for this one. And for 4, we would take 180 minus 148, which would give us 32 degrees. Alright, 2.5 is if-then statements and deductive reasoning. There is no objective for today. I forgot to put that in. My bad. Okay, if-then statements. If-then statements have two parts. First is the if part. It contains the hypothesis. The second part is the then part. This contains the conclusion. So an example would be if the team wins the semifinal, then the team will play in the championship. So let's circle the hypothesis. If the team wins the semifinal would be the hypothesis. We'll label that with an H. Okay, the conclusion, the then part would be then the team will play in the championship. That's the conclusion. Okay, we know that because we want to find out the end result. The end result would be the conclusion. Just like when you're writing an English paper, you write a conclusion at the very end. So what's going to happen in the very end? That's how we can tell. So let's look at some examples. So what we're going to do is we're going to circle the hypothesis and underline the conclusion. If I pass the driving test, then I will get my license. Oh. Let's circle the hypothesis. If I pass my driving test is my hypothesis. The conclusion is I will get my license. Then I will get my license. Alright, number 2. I will miss school if I sleep through my alarm. Now this one's tricky. So, is it if I will miss school, then I will sleep through my alarm? Or is it I will miss school if I sleep through my alarm? So it could be reversed. If I sleep through my alarm, I will miss school. So the hypothesis is going to be if I sleep through my alarm. Okay? Because if I do that, then I will miss school. Rewrite the following statements as if-then statements. Every duck on the pond is hungry. Okay? So the if-then statement, this one's tricky, but if a duck is on a pond, then it is hungry. And you could rewrite it a couple different ways. You could have said if every duck is on the pond, then they are hungry, or if the duck is on the pond, then it is hungry. I would take either way. Okay? But it's not hungry and then it goes on the pond. If it's on the pond, then it is hungry. Okay. I will buy the CD if it costs less than $15. We would rewrite it as if a CD costs less than $15, then I will buy it. Right here, the hypothesis is if the CD costs less than $15, then I will buy it. Okay. Okay, so that's our hypothesis and that's our conclusion. Because you're not going to buy it first and then if I will buy it, then it will cost less than $15. It doesn't work that way. You don't get to say how much it costs. So if we're going to decide if it's less than that $15, then we're going to buy it. All right, an angle is obtuse if its measure is 170 degrees. All right. If an angle has a measure of 170 degrees, then it is obtuse. Because the reason it is this way, you wouldn't say if an angle is obtuse, its measure is 170 degrees, because obtuse angles could be anywhere from 91 degrees to 179 degrees. So we wouldn't know that specific measure. All right, and here we have our summary. What did we learn about today? Today, we learned about if-then statements. Okay. All right, what questions do you have? Put a question or put nada, none, whatever you think. And then make sure you write a sample test question. Do not forget to do that.